いねえな。どこに行っちまったんだろうな。
使用人室も厨房も空っぽだぜ。一体どうしちまったってんだ。
Uh-oh.
弱ったね、バトラ君。本当にローザおばさんだったのかい？
まあ俺も寝ぼけてたから自信はねえんだが、明け方にローザおばさんが入ってきてマリアの手提げカバンを漁ってるような気がしたんだよ。俺はてっきりマリアの手提げに歯磨きのチューブでも入ってるんじゃないかなんて思って寝ぼけてて。
なんで歯磨きのチューブがマリアの手提げに入ってるんだよ。寝ぼけて夢でも見たに決まってんぜ。
Badler vaguely remembered Rosa entering the cousin's room. Also, when Maria woke up before the rest of them, she'd started rampaging around saying that someone had opened the envelope she'd been keeping safe. Putting two and two together, they figured that Rosa had probably come and opened the envelope.
黄金の魔女様の封筒、中に何が入ってたんだろう。
わからないね。でもあの封筒はおじい様が新書に使う後ろ宮家の家紋の入ったものだった。親族会議と無関係なものが入っていたとは考えがたいね。
Okay, but did Rosa ever open hers? I still haven't gotten that answer. I still haven't gotten an answer like what Beatrice did that made the rest of them believe that she was a goddamn witch. Which Rosa was there for. It wasn't just, you know, the other sibling. Because that's the thing, if it was just the other three siblings plus their partners, I could believe, like, okay, somehow they got roped into being the sacrifices for that shit there. But Rosa was there with them at the chapel. Rosa was there with them. Whatever Beatrice did, Rosa saw it. So, like, for a brief moment there, I thought, like, maybe it was the fact that she made all those Halloween decorations and candy and whatnot appear. But the thing was, Rosa was there for whatever Beatrice did, so she would have known about that in advance. So what the hell is it that Beatrice did that made everyone believe that, like, oh yeah, no, she's a witch? She didn't let anyone touch it, but yesterday Maria had shown the envelope to Badler and the rest a whole lot. So they remembered it well.
ジョージの兄貴の言う通りなら相当重要なものらしいが、しかしそんな大事なものをどうして魔女様はマリアに渡したんだろうな。さっぱりだぜ。
Every once in a while, the refreshing morning atmosphere was completely wiped out by the sound of thunder. It was only natural. Since the moment they'd woken up, they hadn't met anyone else. It felt like only they were left, as if the mansion had become an empty husk. Jessica called out into the hallway, and eventually an answer came back. It came from the entrance hall. Yeah, I figured it was Nanjo. So I was like, because I was just thinking about that myself. I'm like, yeah, Nanjo's the only one who wasn't in that chapel with the rest of them.
何かありましたか？
南條先生だ。よかった。この島から僕たち以外が消えてしまったわけではないようだよ。
南條先生、おはようございます。すみませんが、うちの親たちとかどこに行ったか知りませんか？
はて、私も今起きてこちらに来たばかりですからな。わかりかねますが、さて。
It was only natural. Nanjo was a guest like the rest of them. He'd come just now to pass the time in the parlor until breakfast. Maria buried her face in Nanjo's plump stomach, sobbing and crying. Nanjo could do nothing but be bewildered by this ruckus so early in the morning.
誰かかけてくるぜ。ジェシカ、誰か来るぞ。
From down the hall, they could see the sensible running hurriedly. They saw Goda and Kanon coming towards them. Normally, it would be disgraceful for a servant to run inside the mansion, and yet Badler and the rest didn't even think to question that now. Maria's sobbing had become so unmanageable that they wanted to ask someone, anyone, where Rosa was. But the two servants seemed to have bigger things on their mind than Jessica, who was waving at them. Goda flew into the servant room. When Kanon noticed that Nanja was there, he bowed and approached the doctor at a quick pace before whispering something into his ear.
何ですってローザさんが
はい、ご案内いたしますので、どうかご。
わかりました
And of course, Nanjo said Rosa out loud, and we're like, oh, Maria's looking for Rosa, actually, so we'll follow, right?
こちらへ。
Without saying anything more than that, Kanon finally noticed Jessica and bowed to her. But he wasn't calm. He dashed back down the corridor by which he had come, followed by Nanjo. By looking at how hurried they were, Badler and the rest realized that, yes, something bad really had happened. They saw Goda through the door to the servant room, which had been flung open. He was holding the receiver and violently pressing the hook. From that, they realized that he was trying to call a hospital or the police. In any event, he was trying to call someone because a serious emergency had occurred.
行ってみようぜ。
They didn't know what, but something was happening. Badler and the rest chased after Kanon and Nanjo. Ah, and then we realized. Kanon-kun had called Dr. Nanjo, but he hadn't called us. So we shouldn't have gone with them. I wonder if Alice regretted her excess curiosity when she chased after that rabbit holding a clock. Oh god.
ダメよ、入ってダメ、見ちゃダメ、ジェシカちゃんダメ。
Yes! Yes! Let's fucking go! What do you mean no, Jessica? Yes! It's time!
母さん父さん何があったの
Just accept it. Your parents were sacrificed for Golden Slaughter, alright? It's a worthy sacrifice. I mean, RIP out to Nazi, of course, but, you know, the rest of them, it's worth it.
なんだよ、趣味が悪いにも程があるじゃねえかよ。命を奪うなら、なんだよこりゃ。わざわざ殺した後に椅子に座らせて腹裂いて、菓子をわざわざ中に詰め込んだってのかよ。なんだってなんだってそんな悪趣味なことをしやがるんだよ。ちくしょうちくしょう、やってくれやがるぜ。最高だよ最高だよ。うわ
皆さんは外へ出られた方がいい。こんな姿を皆さんに見せたいなどと彼らが思うわけがありません。
Nanjo told the children to go outside, but no one listened.
ローザさん、皆さんに言ってください。こんなもの見続けては毒になる。
Rose regretted her own carelessness. She should have realized that the children would eventually come here. She should have quickly locked up instead of standing around stunned. Well, that's because Rose is a dumb bitch. So the children had come here. They had seen it. Surely at this very moment they're having a sight burned into their eyes that was far more grotesque than the shocking meal Rosa had witnessed in her youth. While she hugged Maria, who seemed to be too shocked to show any emotion at this gruesome scene, Rosa cried for them and their parents. The four groaning and crying voices, their sadness, continued to echo in a place that should have known God's love.
クソ野郎がまたかよ、またこんな殺人を。しかも今度やたらと凝った最高にふざけた殺し方をしやがって。
Wait, he's able to like just pause the world and shit? It's crazy.
わらわはそんな嘆きより感謝の言葉が聞きたかったぞ。
感謝感謝と言ったがこのクソババア。てめえ
You will.
耳がいかれてやがるってんなら俺が両の耳を引き裂いてよーく聞こえるようにしてやるぜ。なんで俺がこの最高にいかれた殺し方にありがとうございますベアトリーチェ様なんて言わなければならねえんだ。ぶっ殺してやる。
前回のゲームでお前は自分の親の死に顔が見られないと嘆いたな。だから残したぞ。しっかり残した。よく拝んでおけ。間違いなく父親たちが殺されたことを。
そうかよ、そいつはサービス満点だぜ。気に入った。
Okay.
感情に任せて思考を止めるな。すでにわらわのゲームは始まっておる。わらわは今回は綺麗に死体を残すことに決めた。
I don't know, their guts kind of exploded. I don't think that's very neat or tidy.
なぜだかわかるか。前回のゲームでそなたがわらわの存在を否定
Yeah,
す
the
る
fact that
時
one of the corpses could have been a
こう考えて
fucking body
否定したで
double.
あろう。顔面が潰され遺体の身元が確認できない。だから身代わりの死体を用意してアリバイを作った可能性が否定できない。その可能性が排除できない限り人間犯人説は維持できる。
なんだと。
さあバトラー、南條に検視を任せてよいのか。ミステリーの古典では検視の医者がグルというのが伝統なのだろう。なら南條に検視を任せるな。そなたが自らするがよい。間違いなく6人の死体が当人で死んだふりなどでなく本当に死んでいることを十分に確認するがいい。お前の父親が母親が腹を裂かれて臓物を引きずり出されて殺されていることを腹に手を入れてその手触りで確認するがいい。
泣かねえ。ちくしょうちくしょう。泣かねえぞ俺は。
Battler suddenly yelled. His tears were still dripping down, but as though scolding himself for being a sissy, he slapped his face hard several times with both hands. Even so, the tears still wouldn't stop. However, he felt a hot blaze in both his eyes.
これだけの上等を決めやがった野郎に借りはがっちり返させていただくぜ。なら泣く時じゃねえ。自分のすべきことを考えろ。
Yeah, uh-huh.
ああ、ダメだぜ、全然ダメだ。涙を流す暇があったら考えろ。涙腺なんかひるませる時じゃねえ。
Rather than genuine anger, maybe it was more of an invasive anger to blot out his sadness. However, it gave a little courage to George and Jessica, who'd been crushed by the sadness.
そうだね。僕たちが泣いても起こってしまった現実は変わらない。
ちゃあどうすりゃいいんだ。私は父さんと母さんのために何をすればいいんだよ。
ローザ様戻りました。
郷田さん、警察はどうでしたか。対応の指示はいつ頃来られそうだと言っていましたか。
それが電話が故障のようでして、非常用の無線機も試してはみたのですが、その天候のせいでしょうか、こちらも通じず。
なんですって。じゃあ警察に連絡がつかないということなの。あいつだ、あいつが電話線とかに採掘して警察に電話ができないようにしたんだ。
Mature that the phones had broken down, Jessica immediately decided that it was the work of a mysterious guest. Her eyes were bright red after so much crying. They began to grow even redder with rage.
もう議論の余地なんかねえぜ。全てが分かってる。そうだと分かる。父さんと母さんを殺したのは誰だ。決まってるぜ、あいつだ。昨日来たとかいう魔女様に決まってる。襟首ひねり上げてやるぜ。チクショーチクショーチクショー。ジェシカちゃん、お待ちなさい。郷田さん、カノ君行って。
はい。お嬢様お待ちを。
Covering her uncontrollable sadness with anger, Jessica ran outside, torn apart by emotion. Thinking about it hastily, maybe the mystery guest who'd arrived yesterday, Beatrice, was suspicious. Oh, you think? However, in that instant, there was absolutely no proof that she was the culprit. At this moment, she was just another guest, no more, no less. So Rosa, making an adult decision, was forced to stop Jessica in her rash rampage. Goda and Countdown picked up on this immediately and chased after her.
誰にも招かれなかった客人ベアトリーチェが。
ジェシカの気持ちもわかる。そう思い込みたい気持ちは誰でもいいから犯人ってことにして横っ面をぶっ飛ばしてやりたい気持ちがある。だがその前にはっきりと理解する必要がある。ベアトリーチェって何者なんだ。俺は顔すら見てねえぜ。
顔ならお屋敷に大きな肖像画で飾られてたよ。あれだけ見てまだ覚えられないのかな。
Okay, so Battler in this world has no idea of past moments. Or else, he would know what her face looked like, obviously.
なんだよマリア、こんな状況で何がおかしいよ。
ベアトリーチェは魔女なんだよ。そして黄金鏡の扉を開くための儀式がいよいよ始まったの。この6人はその生贄なんだよ。さあ始まるよ、魔女の宴が。今宵はハロウィン。魔女たちが今こそ祝い集う。
マリア、その気持ち悪い声で笑うのをやめなさいっていつも言ってるでしょ。
Yikes! Hey! The crisp sound of Rosa slapping Maria's cheek echoed throughout the high-ceilinged chapel. Ever since it started raining yesterday, no, ever since the island was swallowed by the typhoon, I felt as though something was very wrong. It was bright and sunny when I arrived in Rokkenjima, but since I'd gotten up early and was sleepy, I took a nap. When I woke up, it had already started raining. And ever since that time, suddenly, a mysterious visitor calling herself the Golden Witch, Beatrice, had arrived, and it felt like I was sinking bit by bit into a bizarre world. What the heck happened while I was napping? Am I supposed to believe this island was sealed off inside a different world, where common sense doesn't apply? Who is this person called Beatrice? Is some unknown person trying to involve themselves with the inheritance problem, just like our parents were freaking out about at dinner last night? Or is the culprit this witch from the Legend of the Gold, just like Maria said? Even if we set Jessica's temper aside, given the circumstances, it's probably safe to say that this visitor person is the most suspicious. Excuse me, but we mustn't make up our minds based on that alone. It's useless, it's all useless! I smacked my face with both hands again, cooling off my brains before they overloaded. Even though it might have been a wasted effort.
これは
Oh.
おじい様の封筒。
On a tray piled up with sweets that decorated the table, George Aniki found a Western envelope that had the Ushoromiya family crest on it in gold leaf. And it was unopened.
ってことは、それは俺たち宛てってことじゃねえのか。親父たちが読んだものだったなら開封されてるはずだぜ。
その推理は正解のようだよ。書いてある。残されし者たちへって書いてあるよ。
それは犯人が残した手紙なの。中身。
兄貴、開けようぜ。
After nodding silently, George Aniki broke the seal. A folded letter came out.
読むよ。六軒島へようこそ。私は金蔵様にお仕えしております当家顧問錬金術師のベアトリーチェと申します。
That letter really was a joke. This Beatrice, who called herself the family alchemist, had announced that she was collecting the gold she'd lent grandfather along with interest. And that interest was everything grandfather had created. Since this tragedy was right before our eyes, as this paragraph was being read aloud, clearly wasn't referring just to the wealth that grandfather had built up. It was literal. Everything that grandfather had created. In other words, all of grandfather's descendants were included in the interest.
ふざけやがって。なんてめちゃくちゃな契約だ。黄金の利子は命だってのかよ。そんなのまるで悪魔の契約じゃねえかよ。
Yes.
それで魔女気取りってわけか。笑わせやがるぜ。
特別条項。ただし隠された契約の黄金を暴いた者が現れた時、ベアトリーチェはこの権利を全て永遠に放棄しなければならない。黄金の隠し場所についてはすでに金蔵様が私の肖像画の下に碑文にて公示されております。つまりこういうことだね。もしこの殺人が利子の回収行為だというなら、それを止める条件としておじい様に与えた隠し黄金を探し出してみろと。そしてその秘密は例の肖像画の碑文に隠されているとも言ってる。
つまりこいつは魔女さんの挑戦状ってわけか。黄金の隠し場所を記した暗号文を解けるものなら解いてみろと。そしてそれができなきゃ利子の回収をこの後も着々と進めていきますと。そう言ってやぶっ殺してやる。上等だ。
バトラ君、これ
The table was covered with sweets. So even though those things were right out in the open, we just assumed they were sweets too. I mean, come on, you see them a lot, right? You know, those boxes of chocolate shaped like gold ingots?
こりゃお菓子の箱じゃねえぞ。本物だ。こりゃ本物の金塊だ。
片翼のわしの紋章が刻印されてる。 前に母さんが話してたのを聞いた。これはおじい様の黄金伝説の金塊だよ。
Gold ingots weighing a full 10 kilograms. All 3 of them were piled up in the very center of the table. It was where a cake would be placed if it was a birthday party. In other words, this was without a doubt the birthday cake of the party known as the family conference.
これが本当に純度49のインゴットだったなら6000万円くらいの価値はある。
That's big money.
バカ野郎、安すぎる。俺たちの親が6人も殺されて、そこに積まれた黄金がたバカにするんじゃね
さあ始まったね、ベアトリーチェ。どうせこの謎は誰にも解けないよ。だから絶対にベアとの勝ち。早く黄金鏡への扉を開いて、そしてマリアを連れてって。
Aw, man.